Aries Ascendant, Aries Rising. This is January 21st, and I'm going to tell you some information about the 26th of January. It's a day when you are to set your new moon intentions, but there is also going to be some stress going on. And I'm going to tell you what areas of your life that you'll have this in. It's specifically going to be Venus and Mars squaring up. All right, so this is stress and tension with the Venusian energy and with the Martian energy. This is the feminine, this is the masculine. All right, Venus is all about love and relationships. Venus is all about what I value, how I get along and compromise. Mars is all about desire, passion, drive, and this is what I want, and I'm going after it, and nobody will step in my way. I'm willing to fight for it. So you want to know what areas in your life this is going to happen in, and I'm going to go in depth and talk to you about it right now. Okay, Aries Ascendant, Aries Rising. First of all, I want to recap just very quickly on where you're to set your new moon wishes, all right? Aries Ascendant, Aries Rising. The new moon, there is another video. I will attach the link below. If I forget, just look for it. It says New Moon Aquarius 2020. I go into a little bit more detail as to what this happens, so I'm just going to make a quick mention here so that you have this information going forward. But your new moon intention, which this is fascinating, all right? So for Aries, this happens in your 11th house, okay? This is where you have the Aquarian energy. This is all about your social circles and friendships. So on this day, the moon, I'm looking at the 26th right now. The moon is in Aquarius on this day, roughly at 18 degrees. Now, I love setting intentions on this day because there is support from Mars. It's like it's a beautiful sextile from Mars we're receiving. There is also a semi-sextile, two of them coming from Venus and Neptune, okay? And you're also getting a semi-sextile from Jupiter. So you've got Neptune and Venus over here shooting positive beams to Venus up here, and then you have Jupiter on the other side sending a semi-sextile to Venus, or to the Mercury and the moon, and the new moon, right, in the Uranian energy up there, Aquarius. So this, again, is in your 11th house social circles. Remember, the 11th house is also your hopes, wishes, and dreams. It's also the house of gains, all right? So now let's get into the Venus and the Mars energy. This is going to be important to know where this is happening and what area of your life, because there will be tension on this day. Now, I'm going to talk a little bit. This won't be a real long video. I'm hoping to get videos out there for all the rising signs because there's been a lot of difficulties by way of that, and I really want to be able to get back into giving everybody specific readings. They can just say, hey, that's me, and hit it, and there you are. So for right now, the planet Venus, Venus is in Pisces. All right. Now, on this day, Venus will be sitting hand in hand, holding hands with the planet Neptune. Venus and Neptune get along very well. This is what I love about this time. Venus, or I should say Neptune, Pisces, okay. Neptune is the ruler of Pisces. Neptune is the higher octave of Venus. So when they communicate, Venus recognizes, because they have so much in common, Pisces is idealistic. Venus can be very idealistic as well. Venus is all about love, how I love, right? But a lower expression of Venus is very physical, right? Can just be, I love material things, right? I want everything to be beautiful and perfect and peaceful, and if it's not, I don't love it. That would be a low expression. It only wants things around it that just look perfect. They have this beautiful symmetry, right? That's Venus, that tastes really good. Now, a higher expression of that, the higher octave, is that Neptunian energy I spoke of, which is extremely idealistic to the degree where it's almost unattainable. So Venus and Pisces, Venus and Neptune, they get along, they understand each other. They're going to be at 16, 15, 17 degrees on this day, roughly. At this time, they're receiving a square from the planet Mars. Mars will be at 15, 16 degrees, squaring it harshly, okay? Mars and Venus typically, like if they're together, because I know I'm doing someone's chart right now, and when this happens on this day, they will literally have in their natal chart, they'll have Venus and Mars on top of each other. And Venus and Mars on top of each other in the physical, tangible 3D world represents our bodies, right? That's Mars. And Venus is our love, right? And how do we merge those two things together? The feminine and the masculine, right? So it typically represents there's a relationship that's going to occur, and it's going to be in a very physical way. It's physical love, right? Mars is physical, Venus is love. Physical love, we take them together. Well, at this time, they're doing this whole square. Venus is going to be all about not so much being selfish, but this divine feminine energy at this time will be all about doing things that are good for me, things that make me feel good. It will be the feminine side of us that says, I need a bubble bath. I need downtime. I need to just chill and put on some headphones and listen to music. She's not going to be about connecting in the physical way. She's going to be connecting in a non-physical way, in the intangible realm. It's going to be, I need to sit down and meditate. I need to light some damn sage, right? I need to get going. I need to, get some oils going. I need to meditate. I need to pray. I need, it's a very artistic time too. It's a great time for people who are artists. It's a super creative time because that's the Pisces Neptune energy. It's imagery coming in. So it's the intangible realm that we're connecting with, which can be a really great time for people who are already connecting with spirit, especially dead loved ones, friends, relatives, guides, and it's connecting in with the other side, loved ones from the other side. It's the intangible time to connect through, right? To bring in what's up there, to bring down the spiritual into the material, but in a way where we're literally raising our material self up into the spiritual realm and connecting there. So it's going to be all these non-tangible physical things. Some people at this time may decide to do that depending upon who you are and how it is you escape, because that's what it is in essence, a time where I need to just chill and be alone. I need some solitude. I need some me time. Some people do that. They want to have a drink. They may use a certain drug, especially now that cannabis is legal. People may be indulging in ways they didn't indulge before, might be because there is a strong experimental energy involved at this time because we've got the sun and the moon in Aquarius, the sun and the moon and Mercury in Aquarius, which is all about where we're setting our intentions. So on the 26th, this is the best time to do this. But I want you to recognize the friction coming in from the Mars and the Venus tension. So in your life, the Venus energy is all about my way of escaping, my way of doing things that are going to be good for me. So for some, it might be just watching movies, right? For some, it might be indulging and going to the extreme because Venus is going to want to do that. Venus is what I desire. So you might want to be careful. You might want to really pay attention to what's going on and be aware of where your borders and boundaries are. And this time you may learn that. It is these like the day before, the day after, because Venus isn't super slow. Actually, Venus will be with Neptune. And actually, Venus is going to be even tighter with Neptune as the time goes on, to be honest with you, because she's like a couple of degrees away from Neptune at this point. So we will have these, like the 25th, the 26th, the 27th, the 28th, the last week, basically, of this month. We're going to have this time where we're going to have feminine, individuals. It's our feminine energy, the feminine parts of us. Whether you're male or female doesn't matter. We all have masculine and feminine energy in us. But there's going to be that part of us that's going to need to escape. There's going to be something going on where we understand, okay, this is what I need right now. And so for some, it could be just picking up a really good book and getting lost in it, right? Now, if the women, I shouldn't say women, if the feminine energy wants to do that, and then you've got the masculine energy on the other side that is like this heat-seeking missile. I said this at the beginning of January. Mars going into Sag is a heat-seeking missile. It is the body. It is about taking action. It is about, this is what I want, and I'm going for it. And it's fire. It is about whoosh, right? So how does that sound? How does this Mars energy, who wants to find, wants to explore, wants to expand, because it's in Jupiter, it's Sagittarius, how do you think that's going to work? It's going to be looking for this next best adventure, right? And it wants to merge with the opposite sex, with the opposite energy, I should say. Mars is very masculine, so this very masculine part of yourself is going to be looking to merge with the very feminine side of yourself, the opposite. But the feminine counterpart isn't going to be available because the feminine energy right now is looking to be alone. It's looking for solitude. It's looking to do something that it wants to do for itself. So what does this mean? Like in our practical, tangible world, this when you break it down in the day-to-day life, you know, husband, wife, right? Whatever, however you want to call people, your partners, whatever, whoever's the more masculine, whoever's the more feminine, whatever it is, whoever is the, you know, the alpha, right? Whatever, whoever just seems to be more assertive, who takes on the more authoritative, the more, okay, I'm making the plans and this is what we're doing type of thing, however it is that goes in your relationship, you're going to find out it's going to be a little awkward. It's going to cause stress, right? The feminine person, the feminine energies are going to be like, we always do what you do. I want to do this, right? So this Martian energy it's going to have, it's like I said, going to be very assertive and fiery and have very definite ideas about what it wants to do, and it's not going to be the same thing. That's the short end of it. That's the short way of saying it. It's not going to be the same thing. Because this one really wants to do what it wants to do, but kind of in a solitude type of way. Because it definitely does not, it's not about merging energy at the time. It doesn't want to merge its energy. Actually, what it wants to merge with is that is not in the tangible world. It wants to merge with something that's out there, that's intangible, right? It's ethereal. It can't be touched, right? But the Martian energy isn't really about that. It's kind of going after, in a way, it kind of understands it, but it kind of wants to do it in a way where we're doing it together, where it can merge with that other thing, where we can have that experience together. But at the same time, it wants freedom, all right? It's seeking freedom in a way because Jupiter it does represent that. It's that I need freedom, all right? So this energy is a great way of explaining when folks take vacations, they take separate vacations. That is exactly what this is. Exactly. That is the best way to look at it. And there are folks that I know where every year they take separate vacations. And it's not about them doing things that, are, like, oh, wow, you're going to go and do that. How could you do that? You're married. It's not about that. It's about recognizing that they're individuals and they have things that are important to them and they respect that in each other. They go out and they have those experiences separately and then they can come back and interdependently share those experiences by way of sharing and saying, hey, this is what I did. This is who I talked to. This is where we went. And that's enough for the other partner, for the other person. Just hearing about it or receiving a communication about it is enough, right? And they trust, right? Really good relationships who are solid, they can do that. And that's what this is. It's I recognize the independence in myself in the moments when I need my freedom. And I recognize that you would likely need and have times where you have to honor that for yourself as well. And that is exactly what this is. So this is that energy that we're feeling right now at the end of January, okay? January 2020. So knowing in advance, right? Like if somebody should say something and you're like, hey, what did you want to do on the weekend? Let's do this. And all of a sudden someone's like, oh, I got a call from such and such the other day and they want to go out of town for the weekend. And it's like, okay, just like out of the blue, you're going out of town. It's all, don't get too freaked out, right? If you have a rocky relationship, I'm going to be honest. For folks who have rocky relationships, this could be so unsettling. You could have harsh, fiery words and it could end it, right? But knowing about this in advance helps you to understand some people need this. And the whole point is to not take it personally, to realize we all need to have our own time. And when we do that, My way of having downtime is going to be different from your way of having downtime. I want to have it in a way where I'm going to be refueled and rejuvenated, and I have to be alone to do that. But not everybody does. Some people need to be around others to be rejuvenated. Like, we all have our own thing. And that's what this is a moment of recognizing and acknowledging that and accepting it. So now that I've explained the energy for Aries Ascendant, Aries Rising, this is going to happen. Yeah, I already talked about the Mars thing. So this is your 9th house of beliefs. So this could be gurus, teachers, higher learning. There might be individuals in your life that are going to that have different ideas than you have. Actually, if you're an Aries Ascendant, Aries Rising, what I'm telling you right now, you might be like, no, I don't agree with that, right? Or I'm saying something right now that's bothersome to you, because this is, Mars is in your 9th house. Mars is going to square your Venus. And your Venus right now, because Venus is in Pisces, that Pisces-Neptune conjunction is happening in your 12th house. What you want to recognize is that the stuff that goes on in your 12th house, you're not really aware of. It's subconscious, all right? So you're really going to be trying to disappear in that 12th house. Neptune is at home in the 12th house. It being there is, yeah, God, Aries Ascendant, Aries Risings, please comment back. Love to hear about how you connected with the other side during this time, because this is really a love for meditation. This is a love for going away. This is a love for the solitude time. This is a love for retreating and escaping. But remember, it should likely bring up your unconscious ways, things that were like self-undoing, things that aren't so great, habits that you had that it's like the person who, drinks alone type of thing. So there might be some things that are not the best for you, in essence. And so that's what this is about, realizing, okay, I want to do this, but that person definitely doesn't want to do that. And so it causes a stress, right? It's a pain, but it's a belief. So this is very internal. It's your own beliefs as well. It doesn't, that 9th house with that Mars there, it doesn't have to necessarily be an individual in your life, but Mars is our body, it's our vehicle, okay? It's how we travel long distances. If you've Mars in that 9th house, your ideas and your beliefs about traveling long distance, it's being squared. So if Neptune and Venus is squaring it, it's like, okay, maybe I won't be able to be traveling the way I thought I could travel. Maybe my traveling will have to happen in my 12th house, because my 9th and my 12th literally are squaring up right now. And the 12th house is how we travel here, right? It's using that third eye. It's opening up that chakra above the skull, right? Right here, going to our star chakra, opening that up and traveling. It's the interdimensional. Now I know I'm getting way out there, but it's the ability to say, hey, maybe that's exactly what I need to do right now, because the other way of doing it, getting on the road or getting on a plane or a train or an automobile, or whatever it was, traveling with my body isn't such a thing, isn't going to happen right now. It's not a good idea. It will just be stressful. But 9th house represents your beliefs about this. So your beliefs about traveling, your beliefs about your body and traveling long distances. There's something about that's been going through a change, because you've got Jupiter there. This is the house of the Sagittarius. It's your beliefs, it's your opinions, okay? So Mars being there is going to completely and totally square your Venus and Neptune. And so you have a good understanding by the knowledge of the 12th house, which is all that Pisces energy I talked about at the beginning. You don't need to hear me say anything else about that. All that stuff, when I talked about Pisces and Venus and Neptune, that is the 12th house. That is all of that. It's all of the non-tangible realms, okay? Having now back in the day, they used to say it represented prisons, and it used to represent hospitals and institutions back in the day. Today, it could just simply, you might need to go to the emergency room for something, because if it's squaring Mars, and Mars is the long distance journeys, it's almost like, well, what's going to happen? That it squares it, that you're not going to be able to go on a long distance journey, and it's squaring that. So depending upon who you are and how you live, where you live, what you do from day to day, this can be different. All right, it can be different. I'm not saying to anybody, hey, you've got accidents coming. I'm not making that statement. It is simply a change in my belief about how I travel, whether it's, you know, traveling long distance here, or traveling with my body. But because it's Mars, it is body. It is our vehicle. So Aries Ascendant, Aries Rising, I hope that helps. This is for the end of January. Make sure you set your new moon intentions on the 26th, all right? And for more information to find out specifically what you're setting that on, you're going to go ahead and watch that other video that'll give you the details on that. All right, hope this has helped. Bye.